Yo, 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 what's up, guys? Pavy TPJ back again. I know I've been, slightly, kind of inconsistent, but I've honestly been in Chicago recently. I was dealing with some family stuff that I needed to handle. But I finally, back in LA. Like I said, Pavy TPJ goes from Thursday to Friday. So yeah, finally again, I'm back. I'm here. Today I just want to talk about the Rockets. First of all, shout out all y'all for the support y'all been giving us. And if you haven't seen the latest episode of Hoops and Brews, please make sure you guys go do that. But I want to talk about the Rockets, man. Even last night, even though you lost on the be at least a buzzer beater, um, I was just pretty encouraged by the play that I saw. Mainly out of Russell Westbrook. The one thing I didn't know starting off the season was that he had knee surgery in the summer, so he hasn't actually gotten a chance to. Excuse me, let me charge my computer real quick for you guys. Um, my bad. He hadn't actually gotten a chance to work out all summer. I'm sure for Russ, it's the first time he's had to deal with that. You know, what I mean, Russ takes great care of his body. I'm sure that he's a guy who's always has damn near as soon as the season stopped, probably went in the gym to go work out immediately. And this summer he didn't get a chance to do that. As well as I think he dislocated his finger in like preseason, so he's been a little banged up to start the season. So his shooting has been whatever. But the last two games were very, very encouraging, especially last night. That was the game in San Antonio. I was actually on a plane watching this game. The last two plays of I think both the overtimes, when they ran kind of like a little streak play for Harden. I was like, that's a play that you should call for Russell Westbrook. Like you do have a former MVP on your team, another one as well as James Harden. They have two MVPs on their team. I think both of them should be able, even though it's Harden's quote unquote team. Still think that doesn't mean that every time in clutch situations you need to get the ball to James Harden. And I thought that last night, the fact that they let Russ, I honestly thought outside of the fact that they didn't win the game, Russ saved the game for him because Harden was doing his best to tweak it away, and Russ was making big play after big play after big play, even along with the go-ahead bucket that should have been the game winner. But I'm just very encouraged by what I see with the Rockets. I'm not giving up hope. I know everybody had their things to say about Harden and the fouls and Russ's shooting percentage, but I think that what people don't take into account is it doesn't really matter. For them, it's just about getting up possessions. They're usually going to have more possessions than you because of all the threes that they take. Also, Russ, you do miss Chris Paul's basketball IQ. I mean, even you see it, in like OKC, that even when he pointed out that Jordan Bell's jersey was untucked, or some of the small things that he does, you just can't replace that basketball IQ. But just Russ is so fast that sometimes it offsets it. Like Russ just does things that CP3 physically can't do. So even though he may not be as smart of a basketball player as Chris Paul, it's just that his athletic ability is something that you just have to marvel at. And I think it even is even more showcased here in Houston than it even was in OKC, just because there's more space on the court. Like when two people are going up to a double hard, that means Russ get basically a free path to drive to the lane. That man driving at you probably 20 miles an hour, he getting to the rim or getting fouled pretty much on anybody for the most part. Also, his rebounding helps. His passing helps. But definitely his rebounding. There's so many plays where even though he might not get a rebound, he might just tap it to somebody else who might get the rebound, and that's something that they did not have last year. Um, and also, even with some of these losses that they've been garnering lately, I think we have to remember is one of their best players, Eric Gordon, hasn't played in 2-3 weeks, damn near a month. Also, Austin Rivers has been out. Daniel House has been out. They've had a lot of injuries recently as well. And I would like to see this team as a full constructed team actually be on the court. Even in some places I see Russ positioned on the court, he wouldn't even be in that position per se if you had, Eric Gordon back out there. You might have Eric Gordon, on the wing, Daniel House or Ben McLemore on the wing, and Russ would be in the corner. And I did some research, and what I found was I think Russell Westbrook shot 36% on corner threes last year. So if you can position Russ in the corner, you can keep up that 35, 36% on corner threes. That makes him a threat from that corner. And you have PJ in the other corner who's shooting. Last time I looked, it was 52% on corner threes. So you have a 52% corner 3-point shooter and a 36% corner 3-pointer shooter, along with Harden, who basically, if with the way they're playing Harden, they're just like inviting, they're doubling whoever and just living with what happens. If the ball gets flexed to either one of those corners, and you have Russ who's at 36%. If he can keep up that 36% corner 3-point shooting. Look it up last year. He actually shot better than Chris Paul did on corner threes last year. Then Chris Paul was at 34%. Russell Westbrook was at 36%. It might shock you. Now, granted, obviously, his overall 3-point shooting percentage was lower than Chris Paul, but that's why you position certain people in certain places on the court to get them the shot that they want. And I think that a lot of what you're seeing right now is you see Russ positioned at the top of the key, well, not the top of the key, but on the wing when they come to double Harden because, for one, they need another creator, especially when you don't have Austin Rivers out there like they didn't have last night against Sacramento. You just got Ben Matthews House up there, so you really don't have any other creator that when they, Harden dishes the ball off, he can either shoot the ball or drive and make a play for himself or somebody else. So Russ has to be in that position because, again, there's no other creator. But if you can get EG back, and I really think EG is the key to it all. For the most part, he can pull up from anywhere. He's a good straight line driver. He's strong and solid defensively. I know they're trying to get another wing, saying that they're going to try to give up some future assets. I don't really know what future assets they really have. I was trying to look, at their picks. I don't really see any. It was kind of confusing to me what I was looking at. I had to look on 2K and see what picks they have. It's way easier to look on 2K, but they don't really seem to have any real draft picks. But man, I'm gonna give them a shot, man. Like I against really anybody, man. Like even the question with the Lakers to me is their perimeter defense. So if you got EG out there, you got Harden out there, you got Russ out there. Ben McLemore has been playing great. Daniel House is still playing great. I'm gonna give him a shot at. Now the only thing about the Lakers is size. The Lakers would have the size advantage, but then in that case, we think that we can beat you from the perimeter if we take in 50, 55 threes a game, and we can beat you from the perimeter. And we don't even need to go in the paint to get our buckets. Also with the Clippers, I don't think the defensive numbers show at how good of a defensive team they have the potential to be. But you can't argue with the numbers. Like, I thought they would be a top 5 team in defense. They aren't that right now. Their offense is better than their defense. Like, granted, I still think that when when the time comes, they can be able to strap up. But the one thing about the Clippers is they foul a lot. Pat DeBelly is a guy who you can get in foul trouble. I think every game that Harden has played against Pat DeBelly, he's fouled out. That's a guy who's over-aggressive. That's putting Harden on the line 13, 15 times. Also, last night during the broadcast, I think if I'm not mistaken, they said Russell Westbrook and James Harden are the highest scoring duo in NBA history right now. I think between the two of them, they average 61 points. So if they average 61 points between the two of them, you get EG back, and that's like 16 points. You don't need much else from everybody else. Capella giving you basically 14 to 14. Tuck is having probably the best offensive season he's had as a player yet. Now, I think his defense has fallen off a little bit since last year. But offensively, I don't think he's ever had this type of season before. And I think a lot of that is because of one Russell Westbrook, who gets to the paint quicker, and you have to stop ball when he gets to the paint. It's an easy swing out, catch and shoot. It's an open three every time. So again, you don't need too much else if you're gonna have those two guys giving you 60 points, and also if Harden's gonna be going to the free throw line 14, 15 times a night, and Russ can get there himself 7, 8 times a night. The other guys don't really need too much. I think the key to this team is defense. I think that sometimes they switch a little bit too much. I even think that last night, you saw in that last play, they kind of got mixed up with switching. I would like to see them switch a little bit less. I think they have been switching a little bit less than what they used to switch in the past, but I would still like to see them switch even less than what they switch now. I don't think you need to switch everything. I think they give up the switch too easy sometimes. But again, I'm not giving up, hope on this team. Like everybody is saying, oh, the system doesn't work. I vehemently disagree with that. I don't know how you can say the Rocket system doesn't work and then in the next breath say the Warriors of the past 4 or 5 years are one of the best NBA teams ever. That just don't really compute to me. Like, the system worked. You just couldn't get past one of the best NBA teams ever. That team isn't there anymore. I think it's up for grabs. And again, I'm not giving up faith on my Rockets, man. Like, I wouldn't pick them to go to the finals, but I'm gonna give them a shot. And again, I was even in the loss, I was very, very encouraged with the way Russell Westbrook played basketball yesterday. And I hope that I'm continue to be encouraged by the way he plays. And I hope that he can keep this play up. And also, you gotta remember, he's been in OKC a decade. So I think he's finally now getting comfortable, bro. You've been somewhere a decade. I think people also forget the life part of basketball. Like, I was somewhere a decade. I knew where to get food from. I knew where to get my hair cut from. I knew where to and knew how to get to the arena. I had a different level of comfort than what I have here coming to Houston, a place I've never played before. I think he'll get more comfortable, and I think that as he gets more comfortable, he has his friend with him in Harden. As he gets more comfortable, the play will continue to improve, and I think that we could be in for something special, man. So I'll be back with you guys tomorrow. Don't know what I'll be talking about, but make sure you guys check out the newest episode of Hoops and Brews, episode 171. Also, we're having a live podcast. Shout out Courtside Radio, December 21st, and down in Albar in downtown LA. So yeah, make sure you guys come through, check it out, and appreciate you guys, man. Thank you.